United States submarine base at Key West, Florida. A dispatch that quoted President Truman's press secretary, Charles Ross, as saying that President Truman has no knowledge of any secret project by this government that would give substance to the existence of such objects. Ross also said that both the Air Force and the Navy deny that such objects exist.
Yeah, I needed it to get the air conditioning unit running in the background,
yeah,
dude.
Chorus breathing.
What a
So
shit show. Coming back to Utah,
make you sad?
it's been a full-blown drop kick to the nuts because we left a breezy, balmy, constant 70 degrees in Playa Vista, which is like a rock throw away from Venice Beach. Okay.
Yeah.
Staying in this beautiful hoity-toity apartment. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I come back home and it's 99 fucking degrees. My vacuum broke, so I'm covered in dog hair.
Yeah, that's mostly an issue because of Apollo being a husky.
I see that Salt Lake has decided to propose a housing reform that would allow them to build basically like fucking 300 square foot communal space apartments to quote unquote solve the housing crisis, as well as a Ready Player One style stacked
just
containers.
Yeah, containers.
Yeah.
They're going to get smaller and smaller until they're coffin sized, and then we'll find out FEMA's coming after us all along.
The whole time.
So
then I saw that, and then, as if it couldn't be like a more insufferable 24 hours back in Salt Lake, I then see that our dear Governor Cox
This was wild.
has requested us all to pray for rain because we are in a horrific, unprecedented drought. And it was at that point today, after all of these things, that I said to myself, holy fucking shit, please make Salt Lake underwater again, Sky Daddy.
I've been with you before where I've been on trips and then I get home and I'm just fucking depressed. I know the climate can hit hard, but usually it's just like the dream of living somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I would so be down to live on a beach somewhere. Fucking put me on Hawaii.
Yeah.
I'll be expensive and ostracized. I don't want to say ostracized isn't the right word. Hated by the locals.
Yeah.
For invading their land.
Yeah.
I can't afford it and I won't do it. But, now and then you just want to be on a fucking beach.
Yeah, it's true.
And you want to just leave your problems behind. There weren't crackheads. Well, there probably were, but there weren't crackheads at your door.
Not in that neighborhood. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. I've almost mentally blocked that out of my fucking mind.
Oh, you're welcome. I was ready. I had my finger on the fucking trigger of my mace. I was going to blast his ass.
I have been stalked by a very bold crackhead. I know that's not the politically correct term that you Zoomers like to hear anymore, but I'm going to say it with my fucking chest. He comes up in my doorway and he does heroin in front of my door and he waves at my fucking Ring camera.
Which is
He
nice.
brings his friends. He leaves his needles and baggies in front of my door for me and my lovely dogs to step on. It's gotten so fucking bad that my neighbor just up and left in the night because we both woke up to him and 4 other dudes just hanging out in front of our doors at 3 a.m. And she said, fuck it, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So that's also what I got to come back home to. And after, like the housing restructure projects, we want to call them that, where the state is trying to dehumanize us by putting us in smaller and smaller square footage and still charging us over $1,000 for that. I said, there's no excuses anymore to stay in Utah. We are officially paying LA prices. At least I can have a beachfront view while I get fucked.
Because really the only thing that would keep one in Utah is the affordability, but yeah, it's becoming too fucking expensive to live here.
Yep, it's not even that anymore. And they are just so bold with their dystopian reality, they're not even trying to conceal it anymore. So yeah, it hurt a lot to come back here. It was tough. My dogs weren't that excited to see me because they love Riley more than me, so they didn't even care. So it's not like that meant anything. Yeah, it was just, I'm suffering.
Well, it's damn good to see you, kid.
Yeah, it's so good to see you. But yeah, I fucking hate it here. Anyway, I feel like it would be like not cool of us to skip over this very important news that everyone has been asking about and talking about online before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode.
Yeah.
And that is specifically about the U.S. government talking officially about aliens, ?
The perpetual soft disclosure that they're constantly teasing at.
Yeah, but this is like for real, right? Like, they're actually going to be releasing a giant report this month, now that we're in June, like congressional, about UFOs.
Yeah, they set a June deadline, so hopefully it's this month, but some people are already saying it could be next month, that they're already behind. An interesting choice to do that when we've spent $2 billion on coronavirus relief.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just not a choice. Like, we had coronavirus going, and now they're going to release the UFO report. They should have released the UFO report the day coronavirus hit the United States and fucking buried it, if they're smart.
Oh,
but what they could be doing with a soft disclosure is really dipping their toe in the water to see how well we'll handle it. We all know they've been here.
Yeah.
What are they really going to tell us that's that surprising?
Well, you know what I think it is? Because I think everyone wants to say before they used to bury these leads in giant depositions dropped online. You know what I mean? Like, it would be all this really boring shit. And then, 700 pages in, it would be a blurb about UFOs.
Yeah. By the way, UFOs killed Kennedy, and the smallest font.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unsearchable.
And it almost looks like whoever uploaded the document online, purposely made it fuck up because you can barely see the text.
Something like that.
A scan error when it happened because they're not actually typing and uploading; they're scanning actual pieces of paper. So that's usually how it was. But now people are like, this is how you bury the lead reversed. So something horrible is about to happen and come out. And so they're going to give us the delicious treat of UFO information so that we'll be too busy sucking on that lollipop to realize, I don't know.
Maybe. But here's what I'll just call it now. I don't think it's going to be that remarkable. I think it's going to be more of what we've already heard about, because it's just essentially like a Navy and FBI report. It's going to be more.
It's commissioned by Congress.
Yeah. It's going to be so-and-so saw a Tic Tac shaped or monolith looking UFO, which we have covered in the past. End of report.
Yeah. It was supposed to come out June 1st. So we're already behind.
Yeah. Motherfuckers.
But I will say, there has, I should clarify, been a lot of UFO footage caught live by amateurs in Southern California and shit. The last 2.5, almost 3 months has been chocked full of UFO footage. There was even that clip of the people in the hotel filming the beach and where they saw something crash, and that's not even conspiracy or conjecture. It's real. That actually did happen. The footage is out there. It's happening more frequently.
Right.
And it feels like this Congress requested UFO report is going hand in hand with that. It's almost like the sightings are becoming more common that they can't run from it and debunk it anymore.
Well, and it's also curious because whenever there's an uptick in UFOs, usually it has something to do with like what? Nuclear weaponry, things like that. Like whenever there's been nuclear testing, UFOs are uptick. So is there some sort of nuclear program that we don't know about? Is it just because TikTok and things like that make it easier to document things? Like cameras are slowly getting better. Maybe the fact that there was a crash near water, like there's usually always UFOs near water.
Yeah.
I just wonder what's going to be different about this. And I'm almost doubting that Congress is going to give us anything that isn't what we've already seen before.
Yeah. I agree with you. I want to agree with you. I do want to say though, like as an edit to what you said, we have been like this connected and this online and this like quick with information to drop and share for like years now. But right now, like specifically this year, we have had an unbelievable amount of like UFO footage, amateur footage caught. And I think you're probably onto something. Whenever we have these big spikes in UFO sightings, it always is like hand in hand with something nefarious the government is doing, specifically around like, you know, nuclear war. Yeah. But we'll see. It'll be curious to see.
Yeah. It's either going to be a lot of what we've already seen, or it's going to be a way for us to just stick our finger into more of world issues by being like, well, this is clearly Russian tech. So now we need to get our hands on what Russia is doing. Let's do, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's what we've seen in the last 5 years is the government getting comfortable with the term UFO.
Yeah.
But describing everything and anything.
Yep.
So they'll even be like, there's a satellite falling. We know it's a satellite, but we don't know where it's from. So we're calling it a UFO. Yeah. Like they're trying to get us comfortable with the vernacular. It's almost like they're trying to take the power away from the term UFO.
Exactly. Flat Earth. Yeah. They're flat earthing.
Yeah.
The UFOs so that we are looking away from fucking Antarctica, which is that the Greys are coming.
Man.
UFOs from the government is the flat Earth of gray
I wish they
Antarctica.
Would, because I'm sick of it.
Well, we already learned how to fight them. Remember you put stuff in the cupboard or whatever. Is that fairies? I don't remember.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We talked about what... Sorry, my glasses are so dirty.
Yeah, now we all just had to go on a journey with the microphone being put behind your head while you put your glasses back on.
No, it's like something... It's like different ways that you can fight an alien...
with the hats, right? Yeah.
Should have gotten that fucking hat for my birthday. I don't even know what I got for my birthday. Oh, I wanted to go gemstone hunting in the middle of nowhere in our car. Yeah, and then we got a flat tire with no cell service.
Everyone died of heat stroke. Speaking of, also, I need everyone to sit down in the peanut gallery. Apollo, sit. What the fuck is going on here? I swear to God, I run a circus. They do nothing but lay on their fucking beds all day. The moment the microphone comes on, they have to put on a tap dancing show.
It's cute. They just want to dazzle. They want the old razzle dazzle.
I don't need the razzle dazzle. So I'm still trying to, hopefully by the time we finish this, I'll come up with a name of this episode. I was spitballing here when I said I'd call it, the Breakable Kimmy Schmidt. I still don't know about it though.
I like it, but I think you should spell Kimmy with 3 Ks.
Good fucking call.
Thank you.
But I will say, people who have been tying this story in with the KKK have been taken down swiftly. Online.
Well, that's because they want to be something. They want to say something like, they're not affiliated with the KKK and they never have been.
Yeah.
And then to which I would respond, if I want to have a sweeping generalization of white supremacists by just throwing a couple of Ks here or there in your name.
Yeah, it's true.
You got bigger fish to fry than worrying about me.
I agree. You're not wrong. Okay. Well, about 72 hours ago, some, quote, news broke about Ellie Kemper, a.k.a. Kimmy Schmidt, a.k.a. Erin from The Office.
Yeah, they attempted to replace Pam.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck. Bad call.
Bad call.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
This is another episode that's completely selfish because I needed to justify the 48-hour deep dive and the unhinged late night text messages I sent to Chelsea.
Literally right when I laid down. So what I like to do is I like to go set an alarm for 7:15.
Yeah.
And then I listen back to make sure that my phone's making noise.
Yeah.
Set another alarm for 7:30.
Yeah.
And then I go onto my pop videos.
Pop.
Not pop music, but like acne popping. And I just let it wind me down. And I hear bing, 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 bing. And I'm like, she'll stop. No, it never stopped. No. It went going in perpetuity to the point where I was like, I slept in the other room.
Yeah. You can't blame me.
I won't.
You can't blame me.
I won't, but I'm just documenting my experience.
No, you absolutely should. So the reason why I sent Chelsea, also we were on a time difference. It was really rude of me to be up at what was for me midnight, for you like 2 a.m. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's totally fine. What caused all this was a 1999 archived article from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch announcing that Elizabeth Clare, or Ellie Kemper, 19, was crowned the 1999 Queen of Love and Beauty at that year's Veiled Prophet Ball while she was a freshman at Princeton University.
That is a mouthful of stuff that I just don't like about her.
Yeah. I agree. The article also noted that Ellie is from a historically wealthy banking family in Missouri, and her dad, David Kemper, is a high-profile bank executive. That all sounds like a lot. Like, first of all, what is the Queen of Love and Beauty? Second of all, what is the Veiled Prophet Ball? Also, fuck you.
Yeah, you went to Princeton. And you're not busy studying your ass off. You just you don't have to have a job while going to an elite Ivy League school. So you just get to go fucking dress up and do balls.
Yeah, what?
Am I jealous? Maybe.
I'm not. We shouldn't be.
I'm not jealous of this ball.
Yeah, a ball in general.
I'm jealous of her father's money.
You know what? I'm with you there. I'm absolutely with you there.
Thank you.
The Veiled Prophet organization responded to the criticism that came with this post in a USA Today article by saying they are, quote, dedicated to civic process, economic contributions, and charitable causes in St. Louis. The organization believes in and promotes inclusion, diversity, and equality for this region.
They mean diversity in like blonde, brunette, redhead.
Yeah. And by like, I mean like heavy blonde. There's like one redhead. That's the diversity.
They almost didn't even let Italians participate in this because that was like, whoop.
Italians are not allowed.
Yeah, they're like, unless you're above this specific like latitude line in your family. Ooh.
What color's your areola? That will decide if you.
Yep.
They absolutely reject racism and have never partnered or associated with any organization that harbors these beliefs.
It's because just like Thanos, they'll do it themselves.
As they sure fucking will. As you may have picked up from that last sentence, this is where the controversy comes from and into play. Mm-hmm. While learning Kimmy Schmidt is a Gold Spoon, Ivy League, old money beauty queen irritates me, as it irritates Chelsea and everyone else listening. It's the Veiled Prophet Ball and the letters KKK on Twitter that got me here and got me texting Chelsea at all hours of the night.
Yep.
And I want to say here, as clear as fucking day, before we cancel this bitch, let me say, don't always believe what you read online. Just in case you hate the sound of my voice and don't make it to the end of this episode, they are not linked to the KKK. But that doesn't mean that they're remotely even okay.
Yeah, it's like, man, are you German? Don't care. You acting like a piece of shit, still gonna call you a Nazi. Exactly. You know what I mean?
It's like tomato.
It's become such a blanket term.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like, sure, you're not like the Ku Klux Klan, but you're like a clan.
Yeah.
Doing
it's like you still wearing like a specifically like bleached gown and you're only allowed to meet in secret and you're part
still,
of elite.
Not letting Jews in the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're measuring the nose profile at the fucking gate.
Yeah. No one darker than Alabaster is allowed to enter the hall, but like, you know, you're not the KKK, my fucking bad.
Yeah, right. Like Tandy Rosebud fucking, they found out that she used ivory, foundation.
Yeah.
They killed her mom over
had
it.
to.
They
They had
burned
to.
her house down.
They had to.
They're like, fucking ivory.
Yeah.
You know what else is from ivory?
What?
Or what, you know where ivory's from?
Elephants.
And where are elephants from? India and Africa.
It's true.
And they had to shut
It's
it
too
down.
close. It was
too close to home. That was a lot. Edit that out.
No. we're leaving
Okay,
it. We're
all
leaving
right.
it. So the Veiled Prophets are a, quote, secret society, much like the Skull and Bones Club or the Knights Templar, the Freemasons, etc.
Like KKK.
Whatever. You can be a secret society and do good. The Freemasons essentially just donate to kids' hospitals now, and the Odd Fellows, or as the internet refers to them, the Grand United Order of Odd Fellows Friendly Society,
That we live in.
whose goal is promoting harmony and prosperity. Don't let the term secret society get you here initially. Like, just because they're a secret society doesn't mean that they're always, saying like no black people,
Yeah, but they are probably up to something.
Yeah,
but it doesn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
to be racism.
Yeah. Because with that said, there are secret societies like a common name drop here, the Bilderberg Group, who are pieces of shit who want to keep the poor oppressed and keep the power and wealth in the 1%. Based off of what I've gathered, the Veiled Prophets fall more in line with this. While not the KKK, they're still fucking shitbags.
Yeah. They shop at Target and the KKK shops at Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about them. The Veiled Prophet Organization. Founded in 1878 by Charles Slyback, a grain broker, and his brother Alonzo, a Confederate Army soldier.
Ah, good start.
They wanted to create a secret elite society whose public demonstrations would coincide with the annual fair and help promote trade opportunities.
That sounds okay.
Right?
I mean, that sounds fine.
They borrowed the name the Veiled Prophet of Khorasan from the Irish poet Thomas More. Just like, origin story. There's nothing really nefarious about that.
What's the poem like, though?
I don't know. I didn't fucking read it.
You didn't look it up?
Why
I'll
would I
look it
read
up.
the poem?
Because
that is
What's the veiled? What does the veiled prophet mean, though?
Well, the Veiled Prophet was like a fucking disfigured dude who was a prophet. It's so stupid. It doesn't matter. Anyway, as I mentioned above, Chelsea's still going to read the poem.
I'm just looking.
As I mentioned above, its purpose was to boost trade from the fair. But we aren't here because people sold a lot of grain. We're here because it became a tool for class control as the wealthiest elites around began to join. The 1877 St. Louis labor strike is what turned the burning embers into a full-blown fire. The St. Louis General Strike was one of the first general strikes in the U.S. It grew out of the Great Railroad Strike, which was largely organized by the Knights of Labor and the Marxist-leaning Working Men's Party. The St. Louis Republic newspaper exclusively wrote how the strikers were greedy and ruthless when they were just aiming for semi-decent working conditions and, pay. And I mean just, pay. They're not even saying we want enough to be all right. They're just we would rather not die.
Yeah, it's like there's some sort of downside to indentured servitude
Right.
that you Confederates have subjected us to for quite some time now.
If you couldn't put two and two together, let me help you guys out here. In one hand, we have a club for the rich and powerful elites. In the other, we have a dying working class begging for table scraps. The Veiled Prophet organization held a, quote, parade, or as I'd like to call it, a military march of intimidation, to show force and power and to silence the labor fights. The Missouri Republican newspaper published an illustration of the Veiled Prophets during this, quote, parade, looking like what today we describe as a Klan outfit. Keep in mind, though, this obviously predates the KKK's White Hoods, but the resemblance is 100% there. Mm-hmm. They described the Veiled Prophets dressed with a white hood and robe while armed with a pistol and rifle. Quote,
Interesting.
Saying, "It will be readily observed that the Prophet's procession is not likely to be stopped by streetcars or anything else. AKA, fuck your labor strike."
Looks like a duck. Quacks like a duck.
Yeah.
Also, this
It's
is the
a Nazi.
longest poem in existence.
Oh, good. But
There
I
are-
know that the
yeah.
Veiled Prophet is just he's a deformed man and he's a prophet and I don't fucking...
Well, it's like, it's the ultimate, I don't know, like, I am man and I want to soar higher to the skies and I want to get a lady who's, like, literally, which the veiled prophet destined for the skies in such quick welcome as spark seas, dropped on a bed of autumn's withered leaves, did every tale of these enthusiasts find in the wild maiden's sorrow, blighted mind.
Yeah.
A fire once at maddening zeal she caught, elect of paradise. Like, she sees this mediocre looking dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, I'm taken in by just your powerful presence.
Yeah. So
that's the poem in a nutshell.
Massive fucking foreshadowing here because remember our girl Kimmy won a ball. She won the Veiled Prophet's ball.
Mm-hmm.
We just learned about the Veiled Prophets. Let's talk about the ball.
Yeah.
You could categorize this as a debutante ball, which, like, my brain just jumps to the 1989 Horror Film Society. By the guy who did Reanimator, you know, like it's, if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's just about rich and powerful elites doing gross things. Anyway, the textbook definition of a debutante ball, or a deb, which comes from the French word, I'm assuming we would just say this in a French accent, debutante, which means female beginner. Not a great start. Not a great, so, you know, what is that female beginner of what?
Yeah. And of course they call them females.
Yeah. Of course.
And not everyone could be a debutante. Just you and I wanting to get dressed up fancy and go to a ball.
We are not.
No.
We are not.
There's an elitism to it and we cannot buy our way into it.
Exactly.
Because we have the money. If we had the money, we'd buy our way in and go to a debutante ball.
We wouldn't even have to buy our way. We'd just be in.
Yes.
They would know.
Right.
A debutante is a young woman of aristocratic or upper class family background who has reached maturity and, as a new adult, comes out into society at a formal debut or possibly debutante ball. Originally, the term meant that the woman was old enough to be married, and part of the purpose of her coming out was to display her to eligible bachelors and their families with a view to marriage within a select circle.
It's like at the fair when they like bring the pigs around.
Yeah,
they give
promenade.
Yeah.
Promenade the pig. Mm-hmm. That's essentially what's it like. It doesn't matter how you spin it. It's fucking weird. We've briefly covered like Christian virginity debutante balls, and it's fucking,
which is essentially the same thing because it's when they are about to reach maturity.
Yeah.
About to get their fucking periods. It's not maturity. They're getting their period.
If like your dad's like, did you have your bleed yet?
Yeah.
When we go to the ball, kill yourself. You know, maybe don't. You know, that's a joke. But also, I'm not.
It's not a joke.
It's maybe
because
not.
that's what they mean. They're not talking about emotional maturity. It's not like, oh, she fucking got into every college she applied to. Baby girl's growing up, or you were in a really sticky situation and you thought your way out of it. Like you figured it out, whatever. No, it's you get your period.
Yeah. And that definition of debutante talks about like debutante balls being past tense, where you would show off your, because the whole point was to keep it in the family, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It's specifically for elite class, rich, wealthy people. Yeah. So the money all stays there. You don't want your daughter, the heir of your fortune, to marry like the fry cook. She needs
God
to
forbid.
keep it exactly like God forbid. She needs to keep it together. If anything, in the perfect situation, you've groomed your daughter to be so pretty that you know that she's like to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
So you could get like the 45-year-old CEO, and you're now making your family wealthier by that essentially arranged marriage.
Yeah, it's cash with ass, just 100%.
1,000%. It's cash with ass, but it has like a diamond necklace on, and so it's classy. Or something.
But we named it French, so the people would be like, "Oh, it's for the elites."
Yeah, for the elites. It's fucking rancid. No matter what conclusion you come to at the end of this episode, but no matter what, we should shame Ellie Kemper for that alone. Also, the fact that she tried to play super relatable and quirky and fun Kimmy Schmidt, and she's a fucking Princeton banker daughter.
Yeah. And she was 19. We're not, like those purity balls where they're taking like 12-year-olds.
Yeah, she's a grown-ass adult.
Grown-ass adult.
Grown-ass.
19-year-old.
19.
You're at fucking Princeton away from your parents, which is that not a liberal school? But maybe it's for super fucking conservative because it's all old money.
Well,
but
this is like, that's the same thing like with Yale, right? Because Yale is the Skull and Bones. And I feel like you turn left hard enough, you end up on the right. Do you know what I'm saying? Also, you cannot be, how can I say this? There are no ethical millionaires. There are no ethical billionaires. You always, if you are, you have to be like, in itself, that's like hyperbole I'm playing with.
Yeah.
Because how did you get there?
Yep.
Something I will almost guarantee you stepped on some necks to fucking get
100%
there. And even if you do happen to find your way into like the millionaire billionaire class and you consider yourself ethical or fairly ethical, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have to be at constant battle to make sure you maintain that.
Yeah. It's look at like whoever, like the Costco CEO or whatever. Like, well,
yeah,
you're paying your employees a livable wage apparently, but I don't know. I would also almost argue that nobody's getting paid a livable wage.
Yeah, well, like the Costco CEO is like a pretty good example because he's like, I'd rather die than raise the prices in my food court, and I want my employees to have health benefits and a livable wage. But even then, it's like I bet if you were to talk to Costco workers about, holidays and time off and
are they open for Black Friday?
Yeah,
things like that.
I bet they'd have some things to say. And while that's on the light scale, like that's very that's light. Like you're fairly ethical considering. It's
you give them basic needs.
Yeah, you give basic needs. But how many fucking homes do you have?
Yeah, I still want to fucking trust him.
Private jets do you have?
Do your kids work and contribute to society, or are they just milking the system?
Yeah, it's like, you peel back the layers of the onion, it's still a fucking onion.
Mm-hmm.
So I want, like, even though Ellie Kemper can be this, like, educated, fairly liberal, seemingly kind girl,
Yeah.
There's clearly some skeletons.
Yeah. And don't act like you're relatable. You're not.
Don't.
You're acting relatable.
You're literally acting.
You're not relatable.
You're an actor.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Veiled Prophet Ball. This shit show's goal is, quote, the prophet is selected secretly from male members who are made up of St. Louis's elite. The identity of the veiled prophet was, a little bit of foreshadowing, officially a secret. But it's suggested that the veiled prophet is the richest man in St. Louis of a given year, or the man who donates the most money to the organization that year. There are like lists of who the prophets have been. Like, obviously, the first prophet was, like, the fucking dude who made it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was, like, a police commissioner. And, you can see some names. And, obviously, we'll learn one in a second. 50-plus debutantes, or, the lambs for slaughter.
Yes. Eligible brides.
Yeah, eligible child brides.
Yeah.
Are walked down the aisle by notable St. Louis businessmen, usually a friend of their father's, to bow before the veiled prophet. 5 of these lambs are chosen by the veiled prophet to be the, quote, special maids of honor of the veiled prophet's court of honor. And 1 is crowned the queen of love and beauty.
This is like, everybody wants there to be some Disney aspect of thing where pretty girls are chosen by a prince. In real life, it's fucking weird, man.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird.
Imagine bowing to a dude, a veiled prophet, and he's like,
he's
you're
literally
most
veiled,
fuckable.
by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that needs to be said. While the veiled prophet members are like, out and about, the veiled prophet who has been previously selected in a secret jerk-off session, I'm assuming, he literally has a veil over his fucking face.
Yeah.
And
then he gets these children.
Yeah, the children. Yep, the children.
They bow in front of him,
in
and he's
their
like,
dresses.
fuckable,
Yeah.
most fuckable.
Yeah, literally.
Or
in that order.
Dad, you have most of daddy's money,
Yeah.
daddy's money, daddy's money, daddy's money.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knows them. They
Yep.
don't know him. Immediate power imbalance.
Exactly 1,000% that. And the Queen of Love and Beauty, the most fuckable girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's a title our girl, Ellie, aka Kimmy Schmidt, got. The ultimate.
Like ultimate grand supreme,
Yeah.
if I'm going to be quoting toddlers and tiaras.
Also, not quoting Toddlers and Tiaras, quoting the KKK, maybe quoting the Turner Diaries. Anytime you fuck with names like this, like the Veiled Prophet and the Court of Honors and the Queen of Love and Beauty, when you come up with little fucking nicknames and shit,
Yeah.
that reeks of Grand Wizard bullshit, which is KKK shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you start coming up with the silly, funky fucking names, that just reeks of KKK nonsense.
Yeah, because you're trying to distance yourself from the schlebs who can't afford to get into Princeton, and you're like, this is why we're even better. We're going to create our own elite, that like our own dynasty of people that can control at least St. Louis area. They're creating a fucking monarchy.
Yeah.
In secret.
That's what they're trying to do 1,000%.
Yeah.
But like, whenever you like calling the selected man the Veiled Prophet is just ultimate fucking Grand Wizard KKK shit to me. And as we said in the beginning, this predates the KKK. But like this shit obviously was still going on in 1999, and
it's very inspirational.
Still going on today. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, does the apple fall from the tree? Is the tree the Veiled Prophet Society? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is. I'm not saying that they are the KKK, but it is a bit fucking sus that they didn't have any black or Jewish members. It was only Christian Caucasians, just in case we didn't make that fucking clear. And they did their little grand march of power to say, fuck you, labor workers.
Yeah.
Dressed in white hooded outfits with guns in 1877.
And maybe even the KKK, it was like pay to play, and some of those people couldn't afford it.
Yeah, or like maybe they had like the original, and I have not looked into the genealogy of the KKK. I'm so sorry. I know that you guys are foaming at the mouth for that. But I would be pressed to say, because membership is secretive mostly, that maybe there was a family or member or lineage that traces back to the Veiled Prophets Society that led to the formation of the KKK.
Oh my God, I know what it was. They got some guy with like one piece of hay in his mouth, and he's like, I don't want to do no fucking fancy dances. I want to go kill some Jews. And they were like, yeah, but we're going to destroy them financially. And he's just like, nope, I ain't got time. And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, if the KKK comes after me for defamation of character, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine. So, the Queen of Love and Beauty, and later the Maids of Honor, are hand-selected by the Veiled Prophet. The list of invitees was determined by a process never made public, but it's like invite only with limited invites. The Queen and Veiled Prophet, after he's like selected her, dance the Royal Quadrille. I don't know what type of dance this is. I don't fucking know. It's just like, it's fucking weird. They get gifts. It's like
a money dance at a wedding.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
They're ceremoniously married.
Yeah, like for real though. And like, it's so fucking gross when you know the majority of girls are underage or like young.
Yeah.
And the men, specifically the Veiled Prophet, is like a fucking investment banker or a fucking CEO, and they're using this as a bride market.
Yeah.
You know,
gross.
It's gross. It's fucking gross.
They're farming girls.
Yeah, they're farming girls from their rich elite. It's just, it's so fucking weird how the narrative has been to like make this like prestigious. Like for, I think it was like in the 80s maybe, they televised one of the balls, like, and the parade that happened before it was like a thing that, you know, us plebes could go to and be like, look at her, the veiled, you know, it's fucking gross and weird. And like, there was this weird layer of prestige and like, U.S. royalty, if you will. It was very Disney princess, and we were like, wow, look at them.
We ate it up in the 80s for sure.
It's fucking weird, dude. It's fucking weird.
It's just so gross. Imagine your father's friends just pause on you.
Yeah.
And it being okay.
Yeah, but it's good because you have a ball gown on. It's classy now.
Yeah.
It's classy. You have a pearl necklace on. And I'm talking about the gems, pearls, not the other pearl necklace, which you may have gotten afterwards against your will. We don't know. But it's like just opening, quote unquote, opening the doors to this type of predatory behavior, like doing it in front of other perpetrators. Yeah, perpetrators.
Does it make it like okay? Like, do you think I'm going to send a child walking through the fucking Vatican?
Yeah.
Because there's priests there?
Yeah.
It's like, no, we got a whole fucked up organization right now, sir.
Yeah.
Or ma'am. This is what it is.
Get the kids out of there.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so fucking weird to me that it's so sick and twisted and gross and it just makes you icky. And yet, like surrounding it was this like royalty, prestige, Disney princess bullshit.
Yeah.
When really it's just a bunch of old grubby men.
It's very
trying
pick me.
Yeah. Fuck little girls. Anyway. Come for me, veiled prophets, you fucking coward motherfuckers. Our girl was crowned in 1999, but a little reverse back to 1969.
Good year.
Yeah, 69 tells us the story of civil rights groups protesting the veiled prophets and the veiled prophet ball. The civil rights group Action, the Action Committee to Improve Opportunities for Negroes, wanted to stop the use of the public Clile Auditorium, where the balls were held, for the organization's private party. They wanted to get the organization's leaders, keep in mind, all heads of St. Louis corporations, to hire more minority workers, specifically black males, and to abolish the organization that flaunted its wealth in front of the city's poorest residents.
I mean, that seems fair.
That's
like,
very fucking fair.
It's like you guys are marching through town with your weird white outfits.
Yeah.
And you're going through a predominantly black area.
Yeah.
Flashing your money around.
Literally, like, doing this parade through some of the most impoverished communities as some 13-year-old whose dad is an investment banker wears a ball gown worth more than people's houses, wearing diamonds that could put half the city through school.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking tone deaf.
Well, no, I'm sure that the investment bankers took it well. They were probably like, yeah, times are changing.
Yeah, totally. They absolutely did. Who could have fucking predicted that the newspaper owned by some veiled prophet members...
Oh, fuck, they got the media too.
Yeah. Wrote horrific articles about the group being violent radicals.
Oh, man. It's like when they do violent protests and they're just like, just take it.
Yeah.
It's weird that history can repeat itself with white elites trying to put their foot on the necks of the community that is literally keeping them wealthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting
how the date on this might change, but the prognosis, the situation is still the fucking same.
Yeah.
But we do have a bit of fun here.
Just a dab.
Just a bit. 1972. Action, the civil rights group from above, would crash that fucking shithole.
I wonder if we can get a hold of any of these people or if they're just being too inundated with
one of the Action, so I'll say this sentence then backpedal.
Yeah.
3 white female members of Action crashed the ball using tickets given to them by veiled prophet insiders. Gina Scott, Phyllis Knight, and Jane Sauer, dressed in evening gowns, entered the ball. Their tickets placed them in a high balcony reserved for a, quote, unimportant guest. Pause here. I think it's Jane. It's either Jane or Gina. One of them just did an interview about what we're going to talk about. So there she's talking about it. I think if we wanted to, we could for sure get a hold of someone. Anyway.
And this is scary. Like, this is a scary thing to do because elite people will ruin your life in ways that will impact generations.
Literally,
they will hex you financially.
Yep. They can make sure you never get a job again.
Yeah. And
truly.
they can fuck with your parents, your children, your family, like brothers, sisters, cousins.
Like, for real.
The banks have the power.
Yeah. It's like, unfortunately true.
Yeah.
So, Jane is known to have crossed the auditorium, throwing leaflets from the upper balcony while screaming, "Down with the veiled prophet." Because of Jane's diversion, Gina attempted to slide down a 3-inch thick electrical cable towards the stage, beelining to the literal veiled prophet, getting ready to do a speech. Okay?
Right down there.
Right.
Into
She's
my heart.
fucking Indiana Jonesing, okay?
Like Tarzan, man.
Literally. But unfortunately, the cable snapped and dropped Gina an estimated 50 feet straight down onto the steps of the stage. She said she incurred 3 broken ribs and blacked out for a moment, but convinced guards that she had fallen from the balcony. After being escorted to the back of the stage, Gina diverted a security person's attention elsewhere and ran up directly behind the veiled prophet's guards, the Bengal Lancers.
Dude, he's like...
Note, before we move on.
The Bengal Lancers?
The Bengal Lancers. The veiled prophet's guards are dressed as Bengal Lancers. The Bengal Lancers are an Indian military group, and by dressed as them, I mean they're in fake facial hair and darkened their skin, okay? Note to this fucking day, the veiled prophet members still dress as the culturally appropriated Bengal Lancers guards. Just an FYI. So, you know, as we said, not the KKK, but, you know, what,
I'm so uncomfortable right now because I like don't even know how to address it without like...
Yeah.
Bengal Lancers. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at what that would look like.
Yeah, take a look. Bengal Lancers, it's like they're a military group of mostly Indian descent, so they're wearing like turbans on their heads, riding
I would
horses.
describe them as the guys who chase after Indiana Jones in Temple of Doom. Yeah. That's very that aesthetic, like very prim and polished. They do have like the turban, and then they have the like blue coat, but it's like a longer coat, so the coat goes down to their knees. I don't want to say it's a dress, it's just a longer coat with like a red sash that ties around the middle.
Yeah.
And then kind of like a larger pantaloon with a tighter boot for the desert.
So yeah, these white men were doing that. And, you know, darkened skin and fake facial hair.
No one in history has come from a region who's white, unless of a medical condition, who would wear that outfit.
For sure. Especially in St. fucking Louis, Missouri.
All right. Gotcha.
You know, so anyway, let's get back. Let's once again feel the pressure.
And they wore fake hair. Like Jafar.
Yeah.
It did not look good.
Yeah. So Gina, she ran right behind the veiled prophet's guards and got close, and I mean close, as in she got right near the veiled prophet, reached forward and yanked the fucking mask off of him and threw it to the ground.
I'm so inspired. We need to do stuff like this.
I agree.
This is amazing. This is like such punk rock shit.
It really is. Like, not only was, you know, homegirl up in the stands throwing fucking leaflets saying like, "Down with the veiled prophets," which is badass in itself.
But homegirl number 2 broke 3 ribs and blacked out
while fucking Tarzaning onto stage to dramatically rip the mask off. She Scooby-Doo'd this motherfucker.
She juked him. Yeah, she just did a solid like juked out.
Yeah.
Ripped off his mask.
Yep.
She exposed the fucking Phantom of the Opera.
She sure did. And this Phantom, okay, was the Monsanto Company Executive Vice President Tom K. Smith.
Man, Monsanto hasn't ever been in the news for doing something terrible.
Right? They're really
poisoning
great.
Our food.
Yeah. So that was followed by complete silence. And it's also to be noted here that only one newspaper published this story with his name, outing Monsanto Vice President Tom K. Smith as the veiled fucking prophet. And it was the St. Louis Journalism Review. Shouts out to them.
I wonder what financial impact, if any, happened to the St. Louis Journalism Review.
I doubt they're still even around. I don't know. Who knows? I hope they still are.
But we're not going to go down that.
We're not going to go down that because Gina had her fucking car bombed and her apartment vandalized numerous times, all for unveiling the fucking prophet.
Where do you even go for that? From that, you call the police, who runs the police?
Pockets? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. We know that a police commissioner was a veiled prophet as well. Like, come the fuck on.
Mm-hmm.
But Action still fought for the disbanding of the Veiled Prophet organization so that public and private funds could be spent on worthier projects. And, like, what happened after the unveiling almost, like, shut down Action. Like, they were fucked. They had been pretty consistent with their civil action, like, civil rights movements, protests. But the unveiling of the prophet almost was like catastrophic to the organization.
Yeah.
Because of sheer violence against them.
That's insane. Yeah. She had her car bombed.
Yeah. Right
like
outside of her.
Terrorism.
Yeah.
They terrorized her.
Yeah. From the 1980s to the 1990s, the Veiled Prophets did their best to stay out of the public eye. I wonder fucking why.
Yeah.
In 1992, the Veiled Prophets Fair, in their little parade, was renamed to the Fair St. Louis, removing all references to the Veiled Prophets from the public. The ball still occurs on the Friday before Christmas each year. It is still attended by thousands, continuing on with their sexist, weird, still racist, despite now allowing like some black members, anti-working class bullshit. And has been protested recently by BLM members, as well as the St. Louis-based humanitarian group Missourians Organized for Reform and Empowerment. Well, the New York Times just posted, as in like yesterday, as in Wednesday, an article titled, "The Burning of Ellie Kemper Shows We're Living in a Modern-Day Salem Witch Trial," stating...
How dare they? Okay.
Stating, quote, "The latest evidence that we're living in Salem 1692 was the manufactured outrage about Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt star Ellie Kemper, a gifted actress who was guilty of absolutely nothing. Yet thanks to some idiots on social media and some practitioners of journalism who ought to know better, she will apparently now forever be considered some sort of adjunct KKK princess by stupid people for the crime of having attended a debutante ball as a teen."
Not as a teen. Yeah, we made the point earlier that she was quite young, but she was still a 19-year-old fucking adult attending Princeton. I think that that's a very, 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 very disingenuous way to put it. Like, she wasn't forced there by her fucking parents. She went on her own volition as an Ivy League educated woman.
Yeah,
to be preyed upon by these creepy veiled perverts.
It was 90 fucking 9. Like, she knew. And to this fucking asshole who wrote this article, as one idiot on social media to another, I'd like to say, yeah, she's not a KKK princess, but she was old enough and educated enough with her degree from Princeton fucking University to know what she was partaking in and how it's fucking garbage. This is not a witch trial. This is consequences to actions. And I am not one for cancel culture. I don't want her to be canceled. I want her to speak about it. How she's changed, what she's doing better, what she learned. But she hasn't said a fucking thing. And everyone who talked about it when it first came out, all their shit's been pulled offline. And her silence is deafening. And for that, I say, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt star Ellie Kemper, a gifted actress who is absolutely guilty of some fucking things.
Well, 100%. I agree. I think that there's some things that I hear about in Hollywood or cancel culture, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
But with this one, like, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth and you attended this ball.
Dare I say gold spoon?
Gold spoon. You attended this ball and you get called out for it. And then you're just taking the same like route that they did when they were exposed the last time. And that's just keeping quiet and laying low.
Yeah.
So,
and like, yeah, people immediately just saying like she's a fucking KKK princess because she did this is a little out of line. Sure.
But if the shoe fits, bitch,
wear it.
What? Or kick it the fuck off and tell us we're wrong. I think that there's something that is so weird about being in the public eye. Like when you sign on for celebrity, you are also signing on for being in the public eye.
Yeah.
You don't get to be relatable to people like you, to people like me, like as some happy-go-lucky girl with these types of skeletons in your closet. If you get called out for it, then you gotta fucking either just own up to it and be like, yep, I went to that. Holy shit, I did not realize the backgrounds. Never went again. Do not participate with them. Here's what I've been doing to educate myself in the meantime. And that's all I'm going to say about it. My advocacy is not for you to consume because it's always been private to me. I am absolutely sorry. Let me know how I can help.
Yeah, that's it. That's it 1,000%. Like, I will be the first to say, my fucking Twitter was made in like 2009. If you dig hard enough, you'll probably find something you could attempt to cancel me about.
100%.
But the difference is that I acknowledge that I was a fucking shitlord. I acknowledge that I said things that were offensive. Despite being a part of the alphabet mafia, I was using terms like gay and fag inappropriately. And that's not fucking cool. And I know that. And I would speak to it at any chance I get, and I do. And I am deeply apologetic for having done that. Not knowing is not an excuse. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
well, even just like the slut shamey stuff of my own past of just not being educated. It's like, why? That was just I had no skin in the game on just being mean to girls who are just thinking a way about girls who dressed a certain way or being like shitty if girls wanted plastic surgery. It was always like, well, I'm like a cool girl. I had very much cool girl vibes.
Very pick me
and it's
energy.
like, oh my God, I'm so fucking sorry. Like seeing the errors of my ways and the way that I will apologize is correcting that behavior if I see it in other people or just at least talking about it.
Yeah.
This, I don't want to say like, does she deserve to be canceled? No. Is this cancelable? I don't care. She'll be fine.
She'll be fine. And that's the problem. It's like, I don't want her to be canceled. I think cancel culture is awful. It truly is. Because what does cancel culture do other than radicalize people in the wrong types of ways?
We'll get another fucking riot on the Hill.
Literally. Or like we lose potential allies, because I'm not saying Ellie Kemper's a fucking Nazi. I'm not saying she's a white supremacist, even though, you know, her roots are fucking weird and murky to me. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I bet she's a really great person. I bet that she's donated to so many like fantastic organizations. I bet that she does advocacy and education. But show up, girl. Like, show the fuck up. Like, the bar is on the floor. No one's trying to cancel you. People want fucking answers. And you don't have to give them answers like, hey, this, that, and this. You just have to say, yeah, I did this. They did this. I don't agree with it. Whatever. Yeah. Just anything is better than nothing in this type of situation.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. She's probably not going to get canceled either way if she speaks out or if she doesn't.
No, because this is that weird situation where the toxicity and the vocal minorities of quote unquote cancel culture have created this like back and forth discourse on their own side where we're too busy fighting with each other and amongst ourselves. Like this fucking asshole who I don't fucking like for his bullshit article saying that this is a modern day Salem witch trial. Like I bet that he agrees with us on a lot of things, but he is probably so sick of seeing allies get canceled for some shit that they did when they were teenagers that he wrote that article. And I get that. And I understand where you're coming from, but accountability is not cancellation.
It's not. And even just, it's like, what? Do we all have to be accountable for what we did when we were 19? Yes. Yeah. We all fucking have to do that. I made shitty decisions when I was 19 that affect me now.
Yeah.
fuck, dude, I'm not on the same national stage that she is. That really sucks. But
yeah, just
man,
literally anything is better than nothing.
dude, team up with Eminem and get him to write a rap song about it. Like, we'll all be fine with that.
Like, it's just, I don't know. And this is an unfortunate situation that's probably going to be buried because the left is strangling itself.
Yeah.
With,
but it's,
like,
yeah,
you know,
and everyone's just up to their ears with like this same story being repeated. It's like Harvey Weinstein. It's, you know, like, who's the guy who didn't kill himself? Jeffrey Epstein. It's always like affluent, rich people get exposed for doing shitty things. And I'm not saying that what she did was like on the same level as those guys, but it's like rich people got to stop being shitty, and rich people they can't be racist anymore. This is creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are doing weird shit that we didn't know you were doing. And like, people are sick of it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
this stuff is weird.
Yeah.
And
It's weird.
You done made yourself the poster child of this veiled prophet society
Yeah.
at 19 years old.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. All because like daddy wanted a new Corvette or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's,
Yeah.
and, you know, without trying to put words in her mouth, I bet if I was to take an educated guess, her dad's probably still in this fucking organization, and she can't or doesn't want to say anything because she doesn't want that to be affected in any way. And at that point, I don't want you playing Kimmy fucking Schmidt. So yeah, maybe I am saying cancel her a little bit.
I couldn't get through the first episode, so I'm very sorry.
Oh, really? I loved the show.
Really? Was it good?
I really liked it.
I feel like The Office started to go downhill when she came on, not because of her, but because of the exit of Michael Scott. Not her fault, but
you're not wrong. But yeah, I understand the toxicity of cancel culture, and we don't need cancel culture. We need accountability culture. We need people to acknowledge that, you know, fucking the early 2000s and before were a really rough time. And when all that shit got put online forever in the form of like a MySpace post or a Twitter fucking whatever, yeah, like we were all treading this like new ground of everything we say and do being recorded in some sort of fashion, and you were going to slip up. You're for sure going to slip up.
And it was also like the age of edginess. Like, what did we say then that was considered part of pop culture just for the sake of being edgy, you know?
No, 1,000%. 1,000%. And it's like, we knew what was bad, right? But I don't think we had any idea how important like our voices and how we used them, like how important that was to the collective consciousness, right?
Right.
I think that's the difference between then and now is like, I'm a different person, sure, than the 15-year-old posting edgy shit on Twitter. But I still, for the most part, had the same moral compass. I knew that racism was bad, and I knew that, you know, like gay rights, and but I was still kind of a piece of shit because I didn't realize how
like the microaggressions
exactly
of things,
like, and the power of my voice and what I said and words and how they affect people and how that collectively can change like the climate around you and the people you associate with, and et cetera, et cetera. But you have to address skeletons in your closet like this, like especially when they've been, you know,
it's a big one.
It's a big, giant, rotting fucking body. So I guess with that, I say, you know, don't fucking cancel her. She's not in the KKK, but girls got some explaining to do.
Big explaining to do.
Big explaining. That's all I want. I don't need her to, you know, put herself on a cross and get crucified for this fucking bullshit organization. I just need her to say that she's better now.
Imagine if she exposed everyone. She's like, oh yeah, I'm not into it. To show you how much I'm not into it. Here's every veiled prophet.
Yeah, right.
How amazing would that be?
Yeah, fucking right.
In a perfect world.
We can see where she came from and know that that's not going to happen. So anyway, that's the veiled prophets.
So fucking interesting.
Interesting, right? Secret societies, man. They're fucking weird.
Man.
They are fucking weird. And they're happening all over the place. So, yeah. Fuck that New York Times guy.
Yeah, he's kind of a baby.
He's a piece of shit. Anyway, you can still buy stickers from our dearest friend, Kelly Halloran, or as you can find her on Etsy, Wild Wood Owl. Spelled exactly how I said it. No need to question that. You can buy the fantastic and adorable and perfectly made enamel pins of the Flame logo. You can buy the ultimate of ultimate sticker pack with some of the best hits of the podcast represented on there. You can buy the beautiful and surprisingly big and detailed skeletons of us cheersing on the beach, which I have framed and I love looking at.
I also framed mine. They're
and
so cute.
Most importantly, you can get the $3 each individual made free shipping stickers. Mine, I killed God with Gimli's fucking axe. 100% of the proceeds going to the Trevor Project, which I specifically chose because I wanted an organization that helps people who have had to go through conversion therapy. And with it being Pride Month, especially, let's keep donating to them. Even if you don't like my sticker, go to the trevorproject.org and donate whatever you can. It's such an important organization. And of course, you can get Chelsea's very cool Princess Diana design.
Mine is Princess Diana in the revenge dress doing a moonsault onto Satan. And it says, "Not today." The charity that I picked was Pause with a Cause. It's kind of like a two-pronged charity. They take rescue animals and then they train them to be service animals for people with needs like PTSD, physical limitations, and also mental and emotional ones, which I always think is important. Again, if you don't like my sticker, if you don't like Noelle's sticker and you just want to donate, do that.
Yeah.
You know. So those two stickers are the only ones where the funds do not go to the artist. They go directly to the charity. Everything else goes to the artist. So support her. Also support Taradoki. She also does a lot of really cute little artsy things. She just sent me a sticker pack and I put them all on my fridge.
Taradoki took my suggestion of a Jujutsu Kaisen sticker pack and I
got a Taradoki on me right now.
Cute.
Look at it, now I know what that is because you took me to that movie.
Yeah, you saw the Demon Slayer movie.
Name?
Correctly.
But yeah, I've got a lot. Actually, I think every sticker on here, save Nick Cage, is from one of those two lovely ladies. And the one that wasn't, I have covered with stickers.
Good. Fuck it.
From those two lovely ladies. So.
Yeah, they're absolutely incredible. Yeah, that is basically that in a nutshell. Happy Pride. Big ups. Pride shouldn't just be a month. It should be every single day of your life. But especially acknowledge it now. Acknowledge where it came from and how we got here and, you know, everything that happened at Stonewall and, you know, check your privilege. I think even us in Utah, as I was talking shit on it earlier, we have some of the highest teen suicide rates and suicide rates in the country and teen homelessness rates. And that all comes to, unfortunately, leading back to the Mormon Church, who think that it's okay to disown your own children if they, you know, come out to you.
Yeah.
The church has tried to switch its stance saying that you can be gay, you just can't be gay. But a lot of young kids who come out to their parents tend to find themselves on the streets of Salt Lake City or, you know, bouncing couch to couch at a friend's house. And that is still considered teen homelessness. And I think it's really important for us to acknowledge that, you know, Pride isn't just like wearing rainbow crop tops and getting drunk with your friends
at
a karaoke bar. it's acknowledging the sacrifices that had to be made to get us where we are, and to also recognize that still to this day, there are massive hurdles that need to be overcome, and regulations and laws that need to change. For us locally, it's a big fucking issue, and just a generalization, you know, like all of our trans folks, like consistently and constantly getting rights stripped away from them. Just acknowledge the community around you, support it in every way you can, educate yourself, and outreach is always a gift if you can manage that as well. If not, donate. Even a few bucks always helps these people and these nonprofits literally save lives. So yeah, happy Pride. And today and of all days, and like always, hail Satan.
Hail that beautiful rainbow of June, which should be all year round.